Find the equation of the line that passes through the following points, A0 and C comma D. So again, a problem like this, right? Ooh, boy. Find an equation of a line when we don't know any of the numbers? How are we going to do that? Well, don't get scared by the numbers. We're going to follow the concept, right? If I told you, find the equation of the line for, I don't know, -8, 4 and 20, -2, could you do it? And you might say, well, sure, this is easy, right? I know 2 points. I can solve for the slope by using the slope formula down here. Then once we know the slope, we can plug that into our y equals mx plus b formula, and also along with 2 coordinates, x and y, and then I can solve b. And you're like, yeah, that's exactly right. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to do the same thing, just with letters. Okay? So you got to trust the concept, follow the concept. So now anytime you know 2 points, you can find the slope. So let's call this point 1, so that'll be my x1, and this will be my y1. And let's call this x2 and comma y2. So let's plug this into the slope formula, okay? Slope is equal to y2 minus y1, all divided by x2, minus x1. Now what I want you to do is realize how we define the values. So y2 is going to be d. Okay, fine, plug in d. y1 I defined as 0. Okay, great. x2 was c, and x1 is going to be a. So we just plug it in like that. Let's clean it up slightly. All right, so we're simply going to have d over c minus a. Okay, now I know this doesn't look, satisfying, but this is the slope. Okay, if we knew those numbers, we could plug them in. Since we don't know what they are, though, we have to leave them in variable form. All right. Now, though, we quote unquote know the slope. We have a mathematical representation that tells us the slope. The next thing now, I'm just going to erase this. The next thing now would be to use y is equal to mx plus b and see if we can now find the y-intercept. Okay? So I need to plug in then 3 things, right? Any equation, if you have 4 variables, if you know 3 of them, you can solve for the missing third. Okay? So now now you can choose any of these 2 points you want. It doesn't matter. I think I'm going to choose this one. All right, because it has a 0 in it, and I know that it might make my life a little easier. All right, so this is x, right, and that's y. So plug them in. So the y is 0. The slope we found is going to be d over c minus a. The x value then there is a. Oh, joy. And now that's going to be plus b. So how do I solve for b? Well, this is a mathematical, right? I can rewrite this then as simply ad all over c minus a. Okay, and that's then plus b. And now what I can do is just subtract this whole fraction on over to the left-hand side, right? And now I would get negative ad all over c minus a is equal to then b. So that's the y-intercept. This. Okay, now I know that's still a little strange, right? It is, I do definitely agree. So now basically what we have is we have an expression now that relates these variables to one another, right? So why don't we simply now just kind of plug it in, okay, to the y equals mx plus b. Y is equal to mx plus b. So let's plug in the slope value. The slope value was d over c minus a, and that was all times x, right? Plus then my b value, plus this thing. But it's really a minus, right, because it's negative. So just write negative now, ad all over c minus a. And we're just going to leave it alone from here. Okay, so that would be a mathematical representation of the equation of the line. Oh, great. All right, guys, that does it for me. Thank you very much. Appreciate your viewership. And yeah, I look forward to helping you with more problems. Have a great day.